the journey to the Castle in the Sky, their experience in Castle in the Sky, and the downfall or destruction of Castle in the Sky. It's a really good fantasy novel. Not novel, movie. This movie has really good imagery. It does have, a lot of flying, or like aircraft, different types of aircraft, which I really find really interesting. It's got high action. There's a lot of comedy in there. There's no real bad guy, although some people after maybe one person or one thing, and there is a lot of capturing, but there's no real bad. Well, there is a bad guy, but you get to know who he is kind of closer to the end. Or, but in the beginning, there's like 3 or 4 people chasing after the same people, um, and which is Pat, the main protagonist, which is Patsu, and the girl, which I forgot her name right now. And it's a really great movie. And this original title is called Laputa Castle in the Sky. So, yes, go check that one out. And the next movie I saw was The Snow Queen, the 1995 version. This one I watched on YouTube, and I really, really liked this one. It's basically obviously, it's about the Snow Queen, the story, and it's a really good story. Obviously, these imps destroy this mirror and accidentally break it into 1,000 pieces, and a piece of it gets into this boy's eye, and this boy becomes kind of evil or cold-hearted almost, like he doesn't have any feelings, and he loses his emotions throughout the whole movie, and it's kind of like he is going to die, and this girl has to go travel, and she goes through different obstacles, and she has to travel to save his life. It's a really, really good story. And number 12 is called, the 12th movie I watched was Carrie, in the 2013 version. This movie was taking place obviously in our time. It was a remake, and I didn't like it. I was very disappointed with this movie. Number 1, it had too much blood and too much gore, and number 2, it didn't have some of the very dramatic scenes like in the original book, in the original movie, and although it did play with telekinesis and moving of objects, like her experiences, it didn't really go into that much of, like, it showed little pieces of it, but it didn't really, like, show the whole experience and stuff. I don't know. I just didn't really like it, and the original one was much better, and I just liked the original one much better. The 13th movie was called Escape Plan that I watched, and that one was really good. It was pretty long, though, and that's a negative to me because, you have to capture my attention, and obviously that's negative when a movie doesn't capture your attention. Escape Plan was about a guy his job is to escape out of prison. So every prison he'll escape, and it's kind of his job to escape out of prison, and kind of so there's one he gets what's it called? He gets into this prison that is basically unescapable, but then in the end, if you already seen it, you already know what happens. But it's a pretty good movie. Number 14, the 14th movie. This is not really a movie, it's a show. I watched Revolution Girl Utena Volume 1. This is about a girl who gets a ring. Mysterious guy gives her a ring and tells her to go into this school, and she becomes involved in duels and and when you win these duels, you get this rosebud, which is an actual person to keep as like your slave or your whatever, do whatever you want with her. And it does focus on a lot of things like abuse um, and I guess it has a lot of things like abuse and other stuff, other heavy topics in there and stuff. So I don't really suggest it, although it was made by the same director that directed Sailor Moon. It's more of an adult version, of, and it's more of an adult themed and stuff. But I really liked it. And then the 15th movie I watched was Riddick, and Riddick is obviously the third movie in the Chronicles of Riddick series. Riddick is about a guy who obviously can see in the dark, and he's kind of a criminal. Actually, he is a criminal, and he is on this ship and basically captured again, and my bad, he is actually off of the ship on a planet, and they're trying to recapture him again. And it's really interesting because he's not, again, he's sort of a bad guy, but sort of a good guy kind of thing. And I really like that. This one was a little slow for me too. I did like it, but it was also slower than the other two. The other two are excellent. Or the first one is really good, but you know. And then number 16th movie I watched was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This one was also pretty good. It was a little different than the book again. When I read the book, I felt like the book really captured the essence of like the dove, and kind of Harry Potter seeing himself sort of thing, and it's just like surreal almost, and it's a really interesting. I really liked that kind of aspect in the book, and some of the stuff in the book was different than the movie that I imagined it and stuff. So that one was an okay movie. Number 17th is The Secret Garden, 1994 version. And that one's really excellent. I love The Secret Garden. I love the book and I love the movie. They're very visually appealing in reading form and watching form. And they're both, very creative in their way of art. And I really like that. They both have the same concept of death and, kind of reliving again and rebirthing and stuff. So it's a really good one. And then the last movie I'm going to talk about is RoboCop. And RoboCop was basically, I liked it. I thought it was okay. I only liked the parts when the RoboCop was trying to be human. And I really liked that part of his malfunctioning problem. Although RoboCop is a person and he got blown up essentially, and he basically got kind of put together, and he's essentially a robot and a human. And so they were using it as an experiment at first, and then obviously he turns, he ends up living and, going on about his day. But I really liked the film. There is a lot of disturbing things about it. I wouldn't recommend kids to watch it. I don't know what it's rated really in like the theaters, but I don't really think little kids should watch it because there's a disturbing part where they show, what his body is his in original form is and how he's kind of like crying and stuff, and he doesn't want to see that, and nobody else, he doesn't want anyone else to see it. It does show that a couple of times, like just that one time you're not really expecting it, and then there's another time where you see his original foreign body, and it's just disgusting and disturbing, more disturbing than Hannibal, if you've ever seen Hannibal, and the part where the guy cuts off his brain and cooks it and feeds it to him, more disturbing than that. I mean, I was literally disturbed, like, oh, it still haunts me to this day. Anyway, so besides that, I think it is a good movie, and it does have, you've used graphics well, and used, like, the, visuals pretty well, and use, kind of has emotions, and, just, that we humans need emotions type stuff. It does have a message to give to people and stuff, and I really liked it. So, and that is, I've read or watched 18 movies in February, and that is it. And have a great day. Bye.